Right, so we finished the exercise number 6 just before the break. So we'll proceed with the exercise number 7. And this is about customizing list of values functionality. And before we do that, it asks us to create this card to display the selected branch ID. So card is something like this. And so what we need to do is something like this. So let me show. There's an implementation that I've already done in here. Uh, I think yes, it's going to re-authenticate. Give me a moment. Yeah, okay, hold on. I think yeah, right. So we have this Unity details page with us right now. So this is the page that we have. And we need to do a small change in this branch ID field. So let me show you a finished product, and let me zoom in a bit. Right, there you go. So what we want to do is we want to have this branch card. So what that means is there's a little icon here, and when I click this icon, it'll show me all the details about this branch in a small card like this. So that is the end result we are expecting. Right. So however, we don't really need to create a card because we already did that. So if you remember in TRNENT, what we did was we created this branch card fragment, and in that fragment, we actually created the TRN branch card as well as the references that are required for it, right? So what we can do is instead of creating the branch card from scratch, we can reuse that branch card in order to show this here, right? Uh, and let me show you how to do that. Right. The first thing you need to do is you need to bring that fragment into scope in the client file. So let me explain this to you again. So what we need to do is we need to do a little change in this TRN branch ref field, right? And there's this preview column. So I can show that to you. Uh, this is preview attribute maybe. And with the preview attribute, I can give it a card and it'll do the trick, right? However, we don't have the card uh, in this scope right now. Therefore, we need to include that branch card fragment we created earlier. So let me first do that. I'll go to the very top of the file of the manage inventories cast client, and then I'll include that branch card fragment. So include fragment trn branch card fragment. So I'll put that in the chat and the share as well. So this is exercise number 7. And this is in manage inventories cost. Right. So you can include that branch card. So now the card should be in scope, and let me try to deploy this. However, we are getting an error. Cannot find projection data item for TRN country ref. TRN branch dot TRN country ref. So why is this? Can anybody tell me what the problem is? So like we discussed earlier, so we can include include a fragment in a client file. However, when we do that, only the client fragments will get included, right? So this part will get included to our client file, the manage inventories cust.client file. However, this part has two references, this TRN country ref and TRN area ref. And these are actually declared in this entity override. However, this part is not included because this is a projection fragment, and projection fragments can't be actually included in a client. So therefore, what we have to do is we have to include that projection fragment in the corresponding projection as well. So what I can do is I can go to inventory handling projection and then go to the very top of it and also include this fragment there as well. And let me deploy the projection. It works. And then now the client, now it works perfectly as well. So I can give this piece of code to here as well. So again, the same thing. However, this time we are including it in inventory handling cost.projection. Right? Let me put that in the chat as well. So yeah, essentially, include the branch card fragment from the projection as well as the client file. That is because this branch card fragment is self-contained and it contains projection fragments as well as client fragments. Therefore, you need both of those fragments in your projection and the client in order to work with the branch card. So now that your branch card is properly in scope for the client file, I can scroll down to the branch ref and then at this preview field. And instead of card ref, I can do a control space and it will show me the TRN branch card. Right? So let me put that in the document as well, and I'll remove the unnecessary fields to make it clear. That's not necessary. Neither are these. So now I can deploy this client. And then if I test it, now I have a little icon in front of the branch ID. So I can click that and it will show me the branch ID card, the branch card with all the branch information. Right? So I'll give you a minute to do that as well. So you should see something like this, a little icon. So I can change the branch. Yeah, it shows the correct information.
But do you have like a zoom feature besides the card? Like you can go to the form, like for example, if you hit the branch ID to take you to the straight to the page, like where the branch master or something, like how Zoom used to work.
Yes, yes, we do, and actually that's our next part of the exercise, right?
Okay.
Once the user clicks the details, we should go to the branch overview page. So we'll see how to do that as well. Right. So hopefully you got this working. And then, yeah, that's a simple thing. If you have the branch card in scope, and the next part is once the user clicks on details, branch overview page should be opened with the relevant branch record being displayed. So let me again show you how what what the end result should be. And in here I can so there's this inventory details, and in the branch ID there's a little link, and I can click the link, and it'll show me a card showing that the information about that uh, specific branch ID. So that's what we are looking for. And the way to do it is this. So I'll come back to my VM. Uh, yeah, again, you can go to this LOE field. Yeah. Uh, and in that field, you can have another property called details. And if you check the documentation for details, uh, it can have two formats, right? And one of the formats is this details page ref arguments. So what is the page we are going to go? So that page would be, let me show you the client, manage companies, branches. So that page name is TRN branch overview. I can copy that page name. And then I could say, company ID and branch ID. Right. So again, this is the wrong way. So don't do this. I'll show you what happens, right? So if I try this, so what you can do is you can specify a page name, and then you can specify parameters on when you're zooming, you have to tell that destination page what to what should be the where clause. So what are the keys of the record you want to display, right? So these are the keys: the company ID and the branch ID, right? So I can try to deploy that. However, there's a problem. So I'll show that to you. So I'll come back to this inventory details, and then I'll refresh it. And now after adding the details section, I have a link. Apart from this icon, I have a link on the branch ID too. So I can click that, and I get a 404. And if you get a 404 for HTTP request, so then the URL should be, since the page not found, the URL should be, it should be wrong. And I can inspect the URL. It says page manage inventories and TRN branch overview, right? So however, this TRN branch overview page, yeah, TRN branch overview page, okay? So this TRN branch overview page isn't declared in manage inventories. So manage inventories is this file, right? So this client model is manage inventories. The page, TRN branch overview page isn't declared here. So this is actually uh, to- told in the documentation. So navigate to the details page. When specifying a page, the URL should be something like this, and then it is also possible to specify this. Unfortunately, I can't get the documentation. Yeah, I can't really properly show this. I think, yeah, but I'll tell you what the problem is. So when you are specifying this, so I said that there are two syntaxes for details. So when you are using this syntax, it expects a page to be in the same client model. So therefore, we can't use this syntax, right? So instead, what we can do is, let me comment that out. We can say details, and then there's this page. So this is wrong, not the projection name. It's the client file name, and then the page name. So let me type that out here. What you would do is page uh, client model name slash page name. So this is the syntax. And what is my client model name and the page name? Of course, the page name is TRN branch overview. I can copy that and paste it here. But my client model name would be manage companies, is it? That's my TRN branch overview. Yes. So manage companies is my client model name. Right? So I'll put that in the file as well. But this is not the final uh, final result. Okay, I can actually copy this part, isn't it? Yes. Right. Put that in the chat as well. So again, this is not the final result. And if I deploy this, look what happens. So let me come back to this page and then refresh it. Now, if you hover over this link, it will show you that it's web page manage companies. So it's in the bottom left corner, manage companies and TRN branch overview page. And if I click this, it will take me to that page as well, and it will populate all the records. Right? So this is one step closer to what we want. However, that's not exactly what we want. We don't want all the records to populate. Rather, we want it to be just the record we are trying to view, this BN01 branch, isn't it? So the way to do that is to have a sort of a filter here, right? So to this page, you can have a filter like this. So and that filter is specified by URL parameters. So how do you specify URL parameters? So you add, you append a question mark, and then you add your parameters. In this case, my parameter is filter equals, and the next part is the total filter, uh, company ID equals. So just bear with me here. I'll explain this in a second. And then branch ID EQ dollar ID. Okay. So that's a kind of a bit of a big thing. So I'll copy this to the notepad and I'll explain it in a second. Right. So let me change this, and I'll put that in the chat as well. Yeah. So we are appending this filter, and we are saying this part is the total whole filter, And this is actually, if you have learned about OData, it should be clear to you. So this is actually a OData filter, and it is saying that the company ID should be equal to the company ID of this, TRN inventory, the current record. And you will see a difference. So earlier for the labels, we used the curly braces, but in here we are using these, what are these called? These brackets, right? These square brackets, right? So company ID and the branch ID of the current record. And so the square brackets are slightly different from curly braces. So if you have square brackets, what you would see is that you would have the, uh, if it's a string, it'll actually add single quotes. If you have square brackets, it'll add single quotes to strings. However, the curly braces, they don't add single quotes to the strings, right? So you can try this, and then did I save it? Hopefully I did. And let me deploy this. And then if I refresh it now, now if I hover over this URL, it'll show me that the filter correctly, company ID EQ within single quotes TCS, and then the branch ID EQ within single quotes BAN-01. So it'll show me the correct branch in a single record, right? So I'll give you a second to do that, or a minute maybe.
Sampath, I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Did I explain how these angle brackets versus curly braces work? So what I did was I changed the company ID angle brackets. Sorry, not the angle brackets. These square brackets to curly braces, right? So the result was this URL where uh, when I used the curly braces for the company ID, it did not add these single quotes. And what I'm now doing is I'm just adding the picking lead time because it's a number, but with the square brackets. And let's see what the URL looks like. And I have refreshed it. And as you can see, it doesn't add quotes to the 10, right? So let me decode that URL too for you. Right. So this time I changed the curly braces of the company again to square brackets, and also I added picking lead time in square brackets. Right. So since it's a number, it did not add single quotes. Right. So that's what I wanted to show you. And I can actually remove this part. We don't need that, not that part, this last part. It works. Right. So, okay. So what's the next part of our exercise? Right. User should be able to search for branch ID, branch name, country ID, or the area ID by typing on the branch ID field. So what does this mean? So if I try to, so we are still working on the initial details. Okay. So if I try to create a new record and on branch ID, so remember that it's as an LOV, right? On branch ID, I could type things. For example, if I type a C, it'll show you all the branch IDs starting with a C. However, that's the only field it searches for, the branch ID field. So if I wanted to search from the country name, for example, LK, it doesn't do that. It doesn't search for the country ID. It only searches for the branch ID. So what we want to do is we want to change that behavior. And let me show you how that works. So I have this finished product here. So in here, if I try to search for branch ID, like let's say LK, it actually searches for the country ID too. So for example, if I do a C, then it actually searches for branch ID name and the area ID. So all those fields are actually searched, right? If I do an LKP, yeah, so it searches for everything, right? So that's what we want to do. And it is quite easy to do that. And let me show you how to do that. Again, the change has to be done in the TR and branch ref field. And uh, there's this all too predictable search property. Uh, I can say search, and then after search, what you do is you specify a list of fields, and these fields are the fields we want to search. So what are the fields? Branch ID, branch name, country ID, and area ID. So what I can do is I can say for the list of fields, branch ID, name, country ID, and the area ID. So this, let me put that in the chat and the file as well. save it, right. And then I can deploy it. And I can refresh it. And if I try to add a new record right now, and I can search maybe LK, and it'll show me, it's searching the country ID, and I can search for C or something, and it'll search for the branch ID and the name and the area ID. Of course, it searches for the country ID, but there are no countries that matches this letter, right? So it works. So I'll give you a minute to do that as well. Uh, a bit of code in the real branch ref field, search and branch ID, name, country ID, and area ID.
Sampath, maybe I missed out actually what you said just before. I mean, the search by default is actually in the branch ID, or like if you didn't mention anything specific, the other fields.
Yes. So let me just comment that out. Search by default only works for the key. So in this case, for that field, the key is branch ID, right? So let me refresh that, and I can show you then new record. So if I search for LK, it only searches for LKP. So it doesn't search for country or anything. So the same. So it only searches for the branch ID. So that's what we are trying to solve.
Okay.
So I'll give you a minute to do that as well. And then maybe for a change, I have some slides for you. So again, this is related to the next exercise. So exercise 8 is for you to try on your own. So, adding an LOV functionality, and then, uh, you know, uh, that's something. So you can do it yourself. We won't go into the exercise number 8. But for exercise number 9, CRUD actions, users should not be able to delete any inventories from TRN inventory details, and then users should not be able to update, and there are things about inline deleting and so on. So there are some things that we don't know. So let's go through this little presentation and see what this is all about, right? So CRUD actions. So what are these CRUD actions? Well, CRUD stands for, of course, create, read, update, and delete, right? So these actions could be granularly controlled in IFS Arena. So create and update and delete actions could be controlled, right? And we are going to see how they could be controlled. And so this was asked maybe several minutes ago, maybe an hour ago. How to conditionally enable or disable CRUD actions. So what are CRUD actions in here? New, edit, and delete in pages or lists. So when is this useful? For example, if you have a custom order, you might not want to delete the custom orders ever. Or maybe because the custom order lifecycle is handled by the state machine. So if you want the custom order to be cancelled or closed, you can do that, but you don't delete the custom order. Or maybe you do want to delete the custom order, but only when it is in the cancelled state. So that is kind of conditional deleting, right? So that can be done. Uh, and this can be controlled from the projection level or from the client level, right? And how this is controlled from the projection level. I think we have already seen this for to some extent, and you might have seen this base projection file. So for each entity, we have this entry called CRUD equals, by default, it has create, read, update, and delete. So that means this entity can be used for all the 4 parts of CRUD: create, read, update, and delete. And what you can instead do is you can just say, you can override the entity in your projection, and then you could say, I just want to create, or maybe I just want, I just want to read, or maybe I just want to read and do only state changes. So sometimes you don't really want to modify it, but you want to allow the clients to change states, right? So you can just allow the state change. So so those things are there. So you can do that from the projection level. You just override the entity and then add a CRUD action here. And this addition of the CRUD action will actually override whatever that is in the base projection level. So typically by default, it has all 4, right? So when you do that, if this TRN inventory is used by any client, all those clients would be affected by this CRUD action entry, right? And then you have the client level control as well. So this is something you ask. So this is kind of a complicated bit of code, but let's try to unravel this. So first of all, in this first code listing, you have a page. So there are 2 levels where you can do this in the client. So you can do it in the page level. So if you have a page with groups, so this is where you want to have the CRUD actions. So there's this CRUD actions section that you can have in a page. And in this CRUD action sections, you can tell the client what to do for new and what to do for edit and what to do for delete. So you could say you are not allowed to create new records. So new enabled false. That means the new records are not allowed. Editing is enabled. Editing is enabled only when the state is not invoiced and state is not closed. So if the state is in either invoiced or closed, editing will not work. So delete, we have a similar thing. So for delete as well, it is actually considering a bunch of states, and we have some kind of a predicate for uh, enabling the delete function, right? And you can do the same thing in the list level as well. And in the list level, uh, uh, you can get the parent states as well. So if you have a maybe a kind of a child list, which is in the bottom part of a master detail sort of page, you can use parent values too, right? So then again, you would specify this CRUD action and then new, edit, or delete depending on what you want, right? So that's the client level control. And yeah. Uh, so typically, if you want to have a change in a particular client, what you would do is you would restrict the CRUD action from the client level and not in the entity level. So you won't try to override the entity from the projection to do that. But sometimes you really want to do that. Uh, you want to actually have it in the projection level if you want all your clients to follow that CRUD action restriction, right? Yeah. Yeah, so if in the entity level CRUD actions are disabled, for example, let's say you override the TRN inventory entity, and then you say delete is not allowed. And then you can't really enable it in the client level, because the projection level doesn't allow deletion. So therefore you can't enable it in the client level, because client goes to the database through the projection, right? Yeah. So conditions added on the page level. So if you have a page level CRUD action, that doesn't affect the list. So if you want to control a list, you have to add the CRUD action inside the list. So those are the guidelines. And yeah, so that's for editability. We will look at editability later, right? So let's look at the exercise. With that knowledge, we should be able to do this. And it says users should not be able to delete any inventories from the TRN inventory details page. And of course, how to do that? We can go to TRN inventory details page there, and then we can add the CRUD actions section. And what do we want to do? Users should not be able to delete, right? So we want to stop deletions. So I could do a control space, and then we have several things. So there's this after before duplicate. Sorry, after before update. These three things, after, before, and update. So you can actually specify commands. So I won't go into detail, but you can have delete, edit, and new. So these three things, right? So in here, what we want is the delete, because we want to stop the deletion. And then inside, we could say enabled equals false. So that should stop the CRUD action of deleting. So let me give that bit of code. So this is exercise 9, isn't it? So I'll create a new file. So again, some code is omitted here. And then let me put that in the chat as well. And if I deploy that, and before refreshing, I'll show you that this delete button is now enabled. And if I click that, it'll ask to delete the record. I can cancel it. And then if I now refresh this page, the delete button should be gone. Yeah, it's not there. So you can't now delete the inventory details. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Just adding CRUD actions in the page, TRN inventory details page. Right, so hope it works for you. And we can go to the next part of the exercise. Another little thing.
Sorry to interrupt. Just a
Yes.
question. When we do it from the client, actually, is it possible to actually delete from the API call?
Yes, it is possible. It is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So that is a kind of a pitfall of client validations. So typically, if you really want to, stop the deletion from your data model, you would do it in the entity level. Then the API call will fail, actually, right?
Okay.
S-
Okay.
Otherwise, you can actually post a delete HTTP verb to the endpoint and then actually delete a record. That is possible.
Yep.
Right. So the next part, the second part of the exercise 9 is users should not be allowed to update any inventory communication methods connected to inventories of branch call 01. So it's kind of a contrived requirement, but it'll allow you to learn something, right? So if the branch is call 01, we are not allowed to delete any communication methods. So of course you should not hard code data into your source code, isn't it? So this is kind of bad practice, but this will help us learn something, right? So again, uh, inventory communication methods are in the list level here, and if the branch ID is call 01 like this, we don't want. So if I select one of these, so there's this delete button appearing. So I can try to delete it and it will ask for the deletion. So we want to stop that. Uh, Only if the branch ID is called 01. So let's try that. And from the slideshow, we know that the page level CRUD actions doesn't affect the list level. So I can see that clearly because in the page level, we already have the CRUD actions and they clearly don't affect the list level because this delete button is enabled, right? So we have to go to the list level. So where is our list? Let me find that list, groups and lists. Right. So trn in inv com method list is our list. And I can add some CRUD actions in this list. CRUD actions. And just like before, what do we want to stop? Is it the deletion? Should not be allowed to update. Not deletion, just update. So this update is enabled right now. We want to disable it because the branch ID is called 01, right? So CRUD actions, and then what we want to stop is edit, and we want to stop it being enabled. And there's a condition. The condition is that uh, if the branch ID is called 01, we are not allowing it. So the condition should be branch ID not equal. So it is enabled if the branch ID isn't called 01, right? And so I'll do that, but there's a problem. But I'll deploy it and show it to you, right? So let's deploy it, and let me try to refresh it. And the branch ID is called 01. However, if I select a record, it still allows me to edit it. So it isn't working. And I'm sure I did the right thing. So CRUD actions, that is correct, edit correct, enabled correct, branch ID correct, and this is correct too, call 01, that is correct too. So the problem is you can't use in a list, you can't really use your own parent keys. So instead, what you have to do is you have to use your parents' keys. You can't use the parent keys. You can use your the keys of the logical parent, right? So the way to do that is, just like this, you use the parent keyword. And so this is kind of confusing why this would not work. I'm exactly not sure what the reason is. What I'm thinking is that by the time the framework prepares to populate this list, it hasn't populated by but it is the time where it checks whether these should be enabled. So therefore, since this is not populated, it can't find a branch ID. So that should be the reason. But if you add the parent part to it, it should work. So let me save it. And actually, let me put that in the exercise too. Again, some missing code here. Save. And did I deploy? I'll do that. And then if I refresh, the branch is call 01. So if I select, it doesn't allow me to edit. The delete is there, edit isn't there. But if I go to this goal branch, GAL, so that allows me to edit. Not call 01. It doesn't allow me to edit. So I'll give you a minute to do that as well. Did I post it? Yes. Okay, so let's see what the next thing we have to do is.
Sorry to interrupt again.
Okay,
What if the fields are actually not in the like even though you are keeping parent, it's
Mhm.
if it's not there in the top, but instead we are having like say address field. Still, is it still
Right.
required to actually use parent dot address or?
Yeah, so let's try that. So let's try that. So this should compile, and then so it'll I think it'll silently fail. Yes, it silently fails. It can't find a address column. So this condition fails. Therefore, it is considered as true. So it address isn't equal to actually call 01. So that is true. That part is true. Uh, or maybe null isn't equal to call 01, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm sorry, you refer to parent dot address. Can we try without parent? Or that doesn't make sense
you
at
want
all?
uh, like use this
Yeah,
address. Okay.
Yeah, address only.
Mhm. Right. So it'll deploy, and again similar thing will happen. So the address is something like
yeah, but if you match that actually as well in the condition, so okay, yeah, it's not equal to,
okay,
yeah, okay, yeah.
not equal to, right. Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, let's try that. So let's say this one, and let's not totally ruin this. I will have this here, and instead of this, yeah, give me a second. So this is what you're talking about. So yeah. So So yeah, so here's the problem. You see that even without selecting anything, there's this edit button uh, that so the framework has to figure out whether editing is available even without selecting anything. So therefore, the problem is nothing is selected right now, isn't it? So this address, or maybe fetching data from this trn unitary com method or this list doesn't make any sense. So not that they're populated. They are populated, but they are not in the focus. Maybe they are not selected. So this talking about this address or even branch ID or anything in the com method list doesn't make any sense, because even before we select anything, the framework has to figure out whether to enable the edit button or not, right? So that's why this doesn't work. So that's why we have to do parent branch ID. So that would work because even without anything is selected. So if I do that, even if we don't select anything, we still have a branch ID here on the parent. So that's why it works.
Okay, so so that means if I understood it right, I mean it should always be based on a field which is actually at the top.
Yeah. So since it tries to guess whether this is, or maybe guess not guess, check whether it is editable even before selecting anything. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Okay, so it should always be on the top. And is
Yeah.
it also necessary that it should be declared with an array on? I mean, what if you have
Ah,
a parent-child relationship table altogether? Yeah, but you still need an
parent.
array to list it out. Yeah. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
So you always need an
Yes.
array as well
We need an
to
array.
get this
Yes.
working. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, yeah. Okay. So any other questions like that?
So to disable that edit button, then we need to override the button. That's the only way.
Um, uh, you have to specify CRUD actions, not override the button. There is a command that is available for that, I think, in the clients. However, where's that? Yeah, give me a moment.
Because I mean, on IEE, we would be able to. I don't remember. There are two status of a button right now, like the new the method. The
Yeah, so
one
in
that
IE, what you would do is you would actually, catch a message and then
correct.
return a value, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, that mindset, we have to forget it. We have to unlearn it because Orina is so different, uh, and so in IE it's kind of not that it's procedural, isn't it? So you are catching a message, and then you have to do something with that message in IE or APIF development. But in Orina, it's declarative. So we are telling what happens when you have a certain condition, not the other way around, right? So yeah, so this is the way it is designed, and we have a declarative way of telling things. So that is the difference.
Sambat, like you have this enabled only if the branch ID is not equal to column 0, 1. Can you have an or condition also which says or country is not equal to LK or whatever? Like what is the syntax for that? Or? Oh, okay.
I guess now you are again mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, the answer is that yes, you can have ORs, and then you can have complex conditions where you even have brackets. So that is possible as well. So I'll just remove this before I forget and break my code. However, you can have complex conditions. So in here it's just ANDs, but you can have ORs. You can actually maybe sort of group them with brackets. So those can be done. So all those things can be done as well.
One more question, Sampath, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it possible to actually assign a field also from the top to this field, which is actually in the list, like in the same manner? Like, for example, if I need to have a branch ID displayed in the list.
Branch ID displayed in the list. I don't think that is possible, but I know that there are certain maybe textual, not fields, just maybe texts. You can have texts in UI elements, and I think for that you can do. For example, there's this markdown field. I'm not exactly sure you can get that value to a field. If you want to do that, you're better off by using a new attribute in the projection, I guess.
So you mean we override the entity again and add it up actually as a
Yeah.
new attribute as you shown before?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And then use fetch or
Yeah, you can use fetch. I think if you can get it from the parent, it should not be hard to have a kind of some kind of a database code or a SQL query or something. It should not be. It should be possible, right?
okay, but yeah, but it's not. You don't need to actually answer it now, but if it's good to actually know if it's possible to, or maybe we can try it out as well.
I'll check that. So there are certain textual, not fields, just UI elements like paragraphs, things like that, that you can have in within the maybe groups, I guess, and dialogues and all those things. In there, I think it is possible to do. So I'll look into that and let you know tomorrow.
Yeah, it will be really useful because
Yeah.
at our customer site, I mean, it's really, we have such requirements sometimes to
Oh.
actually
Oh.
get those values. So yeah, it will be
Yeah.
much more easier if we can actually get this in from using an array and get it displayed
Mm-mm.
at the bottom. Yeah, but yeah,
I'll
you
look into
can
that.
maybe check and convey later on.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So then we have some things like inventory details group should only support inline editing, and where the user can edit one data field at a time. So what does that mean? And there's another thing called user should only be allowed to edit inventory communication method records one record at a time. So what are these things? So again, let me get my slide deck and show some things to you. Yeah, this. So this editability can be changed. So in that could be done in the field level. So yeah, you can have this editable property in each field, and you can set it to true or false or even a condition, right? So other way to make a read-only field is, rather than using static, you could say field, whatever the field name, and then editable equals false, right? So that is possible as well. But editable equals false doesn't mean it's not insertable, right? It'll let you insert, right? And then there's something called an edit mode in the page level. So what you could say is that you could say there's a edit mode for the page. and there are three values: default, inline, and multi-field. Default means you can edit by pressing the edit button, and then also can edit inline. So what is this inline editing? So let me show this to you in the application maybe. So yeah, in here, so if I change this, so you get this little two buttons to save or cancel, and this is inline editing. So I can just click this and it will be saved. So this is inline editing. And also, yeah, so this is inline editing, and then also you can just click this edit button and it will show you all the editable fields too. And then you can do the changes, and then you can click the save. So these are the two edit modes that you have. And so default is that, just like we saw, you can edit by pressing the edit button, as well as we can do an inline edit where you just go to the field and do the edit, and those little two buttons will pop up just below the field. And inline editing is, the edit button is disabled, or you won't see it. It is actually invisible. The edit button is invisible. Only the inline edit is available. And then the multi-field means you can edit by pressing the edit button, but inline edit is not available. So these are the three edit modes of a page level. And then you have three edit modes of the list level as well. For the list, you can have single cell edit. So that is inline edit for cells. So you can click a cell and then they can be individually edited. So let me show how that works. Yeah, so that, I don't think we can do that because it's not the default edit mode. I don't think we have a client that has that edit mode, right? So then we have single row edit, and there what happens is rows can be edited, but when the focus is lost, the record is automatically saved. And then we have the multi-row edit as well. So what you do is you edit you press the edit button, and then there's no inline edit. So let me show that to you. So this is the default behavior, right? So in here in the inventory details, but for call 01 branch we can't edit, can we? So I'll go to another branch, and here what you can do is you can click this. There's no you can click this. Sorry, you can click the edit button, and then it will show you all the editable fields, right? And I can change these. Maybe let's say email to postal. That's very wrong, but I can do that, right? So this actually allows you to change multiple multiple rows, right? And I can just press save and edit. So that is the default behavior, right? So what do we have to do now? Inventory details group should only support inline editing, where the user can edit one data field at a time. So what does that mean? So we want to actually get rid of this edit button. So if I click this, so this is not inline editing. This is multi-field editing. We don't want that. So how do we change that for the group? So I can go to the group, and then there's this edit mode. So so the order of the things is important. So therefore, please add this on the very top of the group. So edit mode. Why isn't it there? So maybe label after the label. Oh no, that is because I made a mistake. It's not in the group level. Excuse me. It's of course, it is in the page level. So TRN inventory details page is where we need to look for this, right? So edit mode. There are three edit modes: default, inline, and multi-field. So default is not what we want, and multi-field isn't what we want either. We want the inline edit mode. Right? So I can do that. Save it, deploy. Again, I'll send you this code. So just add edit mode to the CRUD actions here, just under the CRUD actions. I'll put that in the chat as well. So this has to go in the TR inventory details page. Okay. Yeah. So I can test this. Refresh it. And now you'll see that the edit button is gone. We can only do this, inline edit. Right? And then I'll give you a minute to do that. So just add edit mode inline to TRN inventory details page. So again, it's either page level or list level. So don't do the mistake I did. So there's no edit mode in the group level. Right. So what do we have next? So if you have questions, please ask. And if you need time, let me know. Not a problem. Right. So the fourth part of exercise 9 is user should only be allowed to edit inventory communication method records, one record at a time. So what this is asking is, here we can edit multiple records at a time. So change this behavior. And how to change this behavior? So we have to go to the list right now. Let me scroll down to the list. And in the list, just after CRUD action, I can also specify the edit mode. Again, yeah. Hold on, why don't I see it? Maybe before the CRUD actions? Oh, yes. Oh. So that is kind of unexpected. But yeah, you have to put in the list, you have to put the edit mode just before the label. So it doesn't, it's not really nice. But if you see something, if you don't see something that you should see in the IntelliSense, maybe the order is different, order is problematic. So maybe try to change the order, just like I did. So the edit mode I want to use here is the single row edit, isn't it? So I don't want the single cell edit. And actually, I'll show you what single cell edit is. So let me save that. And then let me refresh this table, the page. And I can go to these fields and then just change, and then it will get saved when I change the focus. You can press the button to this button, but that is not necessary actually. It'll get saved when I change the focus. Right? So that is single cell edit, quite convenient at times. but that's not what we want. We want single row edit. So that is in the trn com method list. I can have this here, can't I? There you go. So again, this is in the trn com method list. Right. And then I can deploy it and test it. And it's now single row edit. Hmm. It's similar, but you can't do multiple edits, multiple rows, right? So that is the difference. So you'll also see that there's no, that checkbox. So when you go to the row, it is considered as, it is eligible for editing. Right. So I hope you have done that, and we can turn to the next exercise, exercise number 10. But before that, do you have any questions? Right. Okay. So we got half an hour. We will not be able to finish the exercise number 10. However, we should be able to make some progress, right? Uh, yeah. So in this exercise, we will be working with the TRN inventory products overview page, and that is already there for us. So let me show that page to you. And if I go to actually manage inventories, this inventory products page is there. It's just a list, page with a list. And what we are going to do is we are going to modify this page. So, a typical customization, right? So in a typical customization, you would probably not be creating new pages. You would rather, most of the time, you would be changing existing ones, won't you? So a typical customization here, we are going to change some things in this TRN unit products overview. So let's find out where this is declared. So let me close all those things. And this TRN inventory products overview is actually declared in this manage products.client. There. So again, you can use the navigator to find things rather than scrolling down. So in the navigator, you will see all the things. And yeah. So TRN inventory products overview is there. And so there are some exercises and we have to do some modifications. However, you will notice that this is a customization project and this is a customization that we are doing. Therefore, we should not be actually editing things in this file. So there's this TRN inventory product overview page as well as TRN inventory product list, these lists, two lists, and maybe some other things, but you can't go and edit this file. Rather, what you would do is you would customize this file. In order to do that, what you would do is you would right click on manage products. So please pay attention. Right click on manage products and then click customize this. Again, right click on manage products and then click customize this. And as soon as you do that, under manage products, you will see that now two client files. There's this manage products dot client file as well as the manage products dash cust client file we just created, right? And in this file, we can do our changes to whatever the client elements we want, right? And so what are the changes we want to do? Okay, so before I'll give you 30 seconds to create this file, just right click and click customize this. It's not available for me right now because I have already customized it. Okay, so TRN inventory products overview page, and it says create a batch for quantity field. Okay, so what is quantity field? Uh, this one, it is a field in this list. So let's find out where that list is from the manage products.client. So it is the list TRN inventory products list. This one, right? So there the quantity field is there, and we want to do a change to this list. So what do we do in a customization when we want to do a change to some existing element?
Override.
Yeah, we override it. And unfortunately, in the client, you won't get these nice, you know, nice prompts for what is existing in the core layer. So I can say override. And then typically in the base server, when you do a control space, you will see a list of things that you can override, but in here, you don't get it. So therefore, what I'll do is I'll just copy this part, and then whatever I want to override or change, I can add within this, right? So what I want to do is I want to change the quantity field into a batch, and the syntax for that is I'll just say batch quantity. So simply rather than saying field quantity, I'm saying batch quantity. So let me put that code in here as well. So this is exercise number 10, EX10. And this is in manage products.cust client. Save it. And then put that in the chat too. So I can now deploy this, and I can refresh it. But before that, the quantity is plain old numeric field. But if I refresh it now, now it's changed into a batch, and we do have two quantity fields. So sometimes this happens. That is because of cache collisions in the client metadata. Yeah, so we have to deal with this. Some of you might not get it, but some of you will. And it'll correct itself. After some time, maybe after several deployments, it will correct itself. Yeah, no luck for me. But we can manage. So we'll just ignore this other quantity field, and we will work with this quantity field, right? Uh, it'll go away on its own after some time, right? Uh, yeah. So what's next? Create a batch for quantity field. When the quantity of a product is less than 5, display the batch in blue. Else, display the batch in magenta. So this is a example. So if the quantity is less than 5, you want it in blue, and otherwise you want it in magenta, right? And to do that, uh, here's what I can do. First of all, you can't actually specify colors. Rather, there is a palette for IFS applications that is defined in a certain place. So what I can do is I can go to this web. So let me copy this part of the URL. I'll give you this URL in a second. Web icon library. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. So let me give you that URL as well. Copy. Put that in the chat. And actually, I'll put that in the text as well. And make sure to, you don't really need to change the VM number. Yeah, you can use my icon library as well, not a problem. You can't change anything there, so I'm safe. Right. So in the icon library, so it's not just an icon library. There's a list of swatches. These color palette, and these colors has names. So for example, this is named complementary 1, complementary 2, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. And then you have icons, and they have icon names too. And you can preview these icons by choosing a color and see how that icon looks in the color, right? So the idea is that these colors, so you can't use any color. What you do is you use some colors from this palette that is available for you, and then you use these icons for certain things, uh, and you can use icons as well. I'll show you how to do that. Right. So our requirement is that we need a color blue and a maybe a magenta, right? So this first color seems to be okay. That is complementary 1, and then the second color complementary 2, right? So I'll choose these two colors. Complementary 1 is the red, and the complementary 2 is the blue, right? And then what I'll do is I'll create a block for this batch, and I'll say emphasis complementary. uh, Complementary 1 is which one? Let's say 1. 1 is the red. Yeah. Complementary 1, if quantity is less than 5. And so actually, let me check the quantities. So I don't think we have any quantities less than 5. So what I'll do is I'll change this to 50, right? So if the quantity is less than 50, it's the complementary 1. Otherwise, let me copy this thing. Quantity is bigger than or equal 50. So if the quantity is bigger than or equal to 50, emphasis is complementary 2. So emphasis means, you emphasize a batch with a certain color. Which color? This color. So what is this complementary 1 and complementary 2? You get them from the icon library, right? So these are the complementary 1 and complementary 2 colors, right? So let me give that bit of code to you. I'll actually replace this part, and then I'll put that in the chat as well. And I can deploy it and I can test it. Do you have anything? It does not work, seems. Hmm. Yeah, maybe a caching problem. Yeah, that doesn't work. So let's change. There's a spelling mistake, isn't it? Complementary. Sorry about that. Actually, yeah, that should work. And I must remember to give you code after I test it.
Sampath, did it not? Was it not supposed to give you an error when you made that spelling mistake?
Yeah. So again, since these colors are not hard coded, they are dynamically looked up. So
Oh,
therefore, the IDE can't tell whether these are correct or not.
okay.
So it works, but I need to update this code. Complementary one, right? So again, let me delete this part. That's correct. Did I save it? Yes. So it works. So it's, I don't know, maybe it's the other way around. The colors are wrong, but it's fine. It's fine. And also from the screenshot, you can see a little icon here. So it doesn't say in the exercise, but you can add an icon too for a badge. And the way to do that is you find an icon from the icon library. And what could be the icon? Address book. Oh, I think I have a better one. Yeah, something like yeah, circle 3. That's better. So I'll use that, circle 3. So what you do is you just have this icon property, and then you say circle dash 3, or whatever the name you choose for the icon. Whatever the name of the icon you have chosen, right? Or maybe, yeah, card. Maybe card is better, right? Deploy that, and it should show you a little icon before the quantity. There you go. Right. Again, change that. You can add this part. I'll put that in the chat.
Sampath, can you have a situation where certain fields that are editable, you can make them editable, and if they're not color red or something, can you color code editable fields also, like so that?
Field color coding. No, I don't think that is possible. But depending on condition, you can color, of course, color code the badges, yes, but not the field background. So that is reserved for that is reserved to be painted by the framework. So if you have a mandatory field, it will kind of paint a pinkish hue, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that kind of things there, but that we can't control that actually. As far as I know, I'm not sure whether people like projects maybe they might use different types of UI elements, and they need a lot of colors and all those things. But I'm not sure. I'll look into that, and I have someone I can ask. I'll look into that and let you know if that is possible. Right. So what's next? So again, a similar set of exercises there. So add a badge for branch ID field and then change the color of all branch fields that belong to company TCS and located in uh, Colombo. So this is an area, okay? So this is an area located in Colombo. So we have to paint them green. So how do I do that? So first, let's change the the branch ID field into a batch first, right? So what I can do is I can say batch branch ID, and I can save and refresh to see whether branch ID has turned into a batch. Again, same problem. I'm getting duplicate branch IDs. Let's ignore that for a second, right? Okay, we have this. Now let's find a color, a greenish hue. This one, how about this one? Complementary 9. So let's use that. Let me copy that. Right. So I'll say for the branch ID, so we need to have some condition, and we have to show the complementary 9 emphasis when this condition is met. So a condition is that, what's the condition? Uh, uh, Fields that belong to company TCS and located in Colombo. So company TCS, that is easy. So let's try to do that. As company ID equals TCS, actually double quotes, TCS. And I can try that, deploy that. So there's another condition, we haven't added that yet. And then I can try to refresh it and it'll work. And I think all these things are from company TCS, so they'll all turn into green, right? Do we have anything else? No, I don't think so. Yeah, okay. So everything is green. But so what is the last condition? It should be located in COL. So this is an area, but the problem is in the TRN inventory product. So if I can check the entity, TRN inventory product. So that is the entity that we are using in the TRN inventory product list, isn't it? So in the TRN inventory product, we do have the company ID. However, there's no area ID, but we can get the area ID from company ID and the branch. But that we can't really do that here in the condition, right? So there's another way that you can do this. What you can do is you can actually create a new attribute in the TRN inventory product, right? Uh, so let me show how to do that. So what I'll do is I'll actually which one is TRN unit product? It is possibly product handling. Yeah, let me see the base unit TRN product brand pod category brand. Yeah, TRN inventory product is in the product handling projection, right? So now we need to override the TRN inventory product, and the place to do that is the product handling projection. But no, because we can't edit the product handling projection, therefore we need to customize this. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and then customize the product handling projection. So right click on the product handling and then customize this. this should create a product handling cost projection. Yeah, so I'll give you a second to customize the product handling projection. In there, what I'll do is I'll actually override the entity TRN inventory product. And what I'm going to do here is, since we cannot, so what is our requirement? We need to have this color when the area for this branch is Colombo, right? But we can't really do that. There's no area, that is accessible for us at least. So therefore, what we are going to do is we are going to create a attribute in the entity that gives us a Boolean that will tell us whether this TRN product belongs to a branch which is in Colombo, right? So what I'll do is I'll create a attribute. I'll call it is product in Colombo. Yeah, so that's a bad kind of a requirement to have, but we will learn something from it too. So I'll make it a Boolean field, and then I'll have a block for it because we need to specify a fetch attribute. And for fetch, what I'll do is I'll have this SQL decode. So I'll say decode and then trn branch API dot get area. So I'll explain this in a second. Get area ID. And company ID and the branch ID should be the keys. I'll explain this in a second, and I'll give you the code as well. And if the result of this call is Colombo, then you return true, otherwise false. Right. So, okay, what is this? What is this thing? Right. So we want to know whether a product is in Colombo or not. So what we are going to do is we are going to, since we don't have a way to know that, we are going to create a custom attribute called is product in Colombo, which is a Boolean, right? And then so we need a fetch statement as well. What we are doing is we are using this SQL decode. And what does decode do? So it looks at the first argument. So the first argument is this one. Whatever is returned by this PLSQL code, TRN branch API get area ID. So what we are doing is we are passing the company ID and branch ID to get the area, right? So now we know the area of this record, and then we are comparing it with Colombo. So if the comparison is successful, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false, right? So let's deploy this, and let's see exactly what is going on with the product handling projection, right? So let's go to the product handling projection. Let's try this. And then TR inventory product set. So now this TR inventory product set should have our newly created custom attribute. Is product in Colombo false? False, false, false. Some record should be there with true, right? So okay, I'll send you this code. I'll send you this piece of code. So again, this should be in the product handling projection, cost projection. So today as well, I'm going to get about 5 minutes of extra time from you. I'll finish this quickly. Right, so now that we have this attribute is product in Colombo, what we can do is we can go to the client and just use that attribute. Company ID equals DCS and is product in Colombo. Right? So again, this part, I'll add it here. Right? And let's see how our client behaves right now. And we can see that, the green color, green hue comes only for the branches that are in the Colombo area. So our code is correct. Right? So did I give you the code? Yes, I did. Yeah. So again, this is to learn how to customize a projection. And then, it's the same thing after you customize it. You can just add the attributes and, do all those things. And you can add Boolean attributes as well. And, this decode statement, so that is PLSQL, so I won't go into explaining it, but it'll work. And if you have a Boolean attribute, you can directly use it in emphasis, and of course, if you have CRUD actions and anything, in there you can use these Boolean fields if you have them. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. So do you have any questions about these things that we discussed or any other things?
Can we add something like that to the new edit and delete buttons?
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do something like you can add a CRUD action and say what edit is enabled if not is product in Colombo. Let me copy that. Hopefully, Tiny, correct me if I'm wrong, if this is the correct not operator. It should be, yes. Let's try that. Yeah. let's see. Yeah. So let me refresh that. And so if the product is in Colombo, we should not be able to edit it. But it is available. Yeah. It should be possible. I think the problem is that, so let's do this. Again, I think, okay, the problem is that we are using an attribute in the list, within the list. So this should be a problem. Just like we had to use the parent branch ID, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a problem. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, so I'll look into this because this doesn't have a parent. So typically this should be, we should be able to use something like this, but I'll look into this and let you know. So for now, I'll delete it. Right. So any other questions like that? So I'll look into that. So so I have a list of questions that you have asked that I've promised to answer tomorrow. I'll answer them tomorrow. Not a problem. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. So if you don't have any other questions, and it's time that we stop the training for today. Right. So thank you for participating today for the 5th day. Sorry.
Just say thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's stop the training, and thank you very much. See you in the training at the same time tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.